Welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're diving into the new face of fraud. And I'm not talking about those old, poorly worded emails asking for your bank details. No, this has evolved into a massive, global, industrialized threat. And we're going to show you exactly how it all works and, more importantly, how you can protect yourself.
Let's just kick things off with a pretty chilling warning. It's a phrase you probably know from horror movies. But this comes straight from the U.S. Department of Justice. The call is coming from inside the house. And it just perfectly captures this new reality of fraud. The enemy isn't at arm's length anymore. It has found a way into our homes, our companies, and our banks.
And one of the newest and frankly most terrifying forms of this is the digital arrest. Seriously, forget the clumsy phishing emails from back in the day. This is sophisticated psychological warfare. It's designed to weaponize your fear of authority and basically lock you in a virtual prison until you pay up. But as personal and as terrifying as a digital arrest might feel, it's really just the tip of the iceberg. It's just one product rolling off a global assembly line of fraud, an industry that's operating with honestly terrifying efficiency.
I mean, just think about the scale here. In the last year alone, 30% of all Americans have been targeted by a scam. That's nearly 1 out of every 3 people. This isn't some fringe issue anymore. It is a full-blown crisis.
And the financial hit? It's staggering. The average victim loses $1,600. Now, for so many families, that's not just an inconvenience, that's a devastating blow. It can completely derail their lives.
And this factory of fraud, it's absolutely global. Take India, for example. Reported incidents there just shot up to over 2.2 million. So you see, these aren't just a bunch of isolated crimes. This is a coordinated, worldwide surge.
So all of this really forces us to change how we think about this. As threat intelligence researcher Megan Square puts it, we have to stop seeing these as small-time scams. What we're really facing is an industrialized enemy that uses AI and psychological manipulation as its main weapons.
To really get how this whole industry works, we kind of need to look under the hood. So let's actually break down this incredible case that the Department of Justice recently uncovered. It reveals the entire machine. Now, this was not a simple smash-and-grab operation. This was a sophisticated, state-sponsored heist. It was a scheme that got inside over 300 U.S. companies to steal millions of dollars. And the profits? They flowed directly back to North Korea, helping to fund its illicit weapons program.
And the process they built, wow, it's a masterclass in modern fraud. It's like a 4-stage supply chain. Okay, so first, they steal the identities of real Americans. Then, they use those identities to get high-paying remote tech jobs. Now, to keep up the illusion, a U.S. accomplice runs what they call a laptop farm. We're talking literally a house full of company laptops to fake a U.S. presence. And the final step? Launder the millions in wages right back to North Korea. It's a completely seamless international fraud pipeline.
But you know, the numbers, the court documents, they don't even begin to tell the whole story. Beyond all the stolen money are the invisible scars, the real, lasting human cost of this whole industry. You know, a therapist who specializes in online harassment, she makes this really powerful point. The threat feels inescapable because it follows you home. And the exact same thing is true for modern fraud. That constant flood of suspicious texts, calls, and emails, it's not just annoying, it's a psychological siege. And this isn't just a feeling we're talking about. The harm is actually quantifiable. Research shows a direct statistical link between being victimized online and experiencing depression. But here's the part that's truly disturbing. That same study found depression was the single strongest predictor of becoming a victim in the first place. It's a vicious cycle where criminals prey on existing vulnerability, which can then lower a person's guard and make them even more susceptible to manipulation. So when you're facing this massive industrialized threat, one that leaves these kinds of scars, the big question is, right, how do we fight back? How do we build our digital defense lines?
Okay, so the consensus here is that there's no one single silver bullet. Our defense has to be multi-layered because the threat is coming at us on multiple levels. It starts with us, with you and me, but it has to be reinforced by the companies we trust with our data. And it has to be backed up by government action that can actually go after these global criminal networks.
On a personal level, the most important thing is to recognize their playbook. All scammers rely on creating urgency and fear. The FTC's advice is brilliantly simple, and it really works. Just hang up. Never, ever, ever move money on request, and treat any message that's screaming, "You must act now," as an immediate red flag.
And really, all this advice builds the foundation of what you could call good digital hygiene. It's all about building habits. Use two-factor authentication everywhere you possibly can. Treat your one-time passcodes like the keys to your house. You would never share them. Really cultivate the habit of just pausing before you act under pressure. And always, always report fraud immediately. It's your best shot at recovery, and it helps the authorities shut these networks down.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty unsettling question. We are entering an era where these industrialized scams are being supercharged by AI, which is making them more personalized, more believable, and more dangerous than anything we've ever seen before. In this new reality, as we face the rise of the machine, are our purely human defenses still enough?